So y'all doing? Welcome to the channel. Today I'm gonna be talking about I was talking about my last video, but there's only two views in the last video, but hey, I'm still gonna make it. But anyway, let me get to the point. So let me just break down the cartoon. Okay, so your main cartoon sources, Cartoon Network. Then Cartoon Network got Adult Swim. Then you got Nick. Nick got Nicktoons, Nick Jr. Disney got the Disney, and then Disney XD. Yes, my bad. But those are the main source channels for most of the cartoons. Now there was CW channels. Yeah, because the Vortex. If y'all remember that. If you don't remember the Vortex, you don't remember Sonic X, Yu-Gi-Oh, Dinosaur King, Digimon. Basically all in that morning network show. Basically, it was like a time frame that it had it on, and it just showed them episodes, and it just showed the shows. But if you don't remember, well, I'm just here to refresh your memory. If you don't remember, not good for you. But the Vortex, that was the fourth main source. Hopefully people watched it, but it was early in the morning though, like 8 a.m. when it started, and then ending at 10, 11, yeah, 8 to 11. It started, yeah, it started early. I remember the Chronicles on there. Man, that was good. But anyway, Cartoon Network. Well, it was up, now it fell down, and then Adult Swim, it's still up due to Toonami, so that's the only thing that keeping it up to float. And also Family Guy, American Dad, and all them other favorite cartoons on there, Rick and Morty, on them. So that's the only thing that keeping Cartoon Network afloat. And Cartoon Network as a show, it does some good shows there and there, but it's mainly Gumball on there. If you're not showing Gumball, then it's on Teen Titans Go. Who watching Teen Titans Go? I'm not watching no Teen Titans Go. I'm pretty much sure kids ain't watching no Teen Titans Go. But anyway, let me just go to Nick. Nick have was up, now it fell off. Nick was in between actually. It had some good cartoons in there, but it's never had cartoons like Cartoon Network or Disney. Not really. No. Disney had the original movies. Nick had the in between the original movies and cartoons. Cartoon Network just had cartoons. So that basically was bringing them three all together, basically. Because Cartoon Network was just really good. Like, you had the Teen Titans lineup, like the Ben 10, and, man, um, Ben 10, Digimon, yeah. Oh, was it Digimon on Cartoon Network? Nah, I don't remember Digimon on Cartoon Network. Nah, now I remember Bakugan, Blade. Now, Blade, Bakugan, those two was banger. Yeah, like, have you ever played in the park with Blades before? You didn't play with your friends, but for some reason, they stopped doing it. For some reason, people started doing it, because it wasn't cool. I was like, huh? And the guys like, I probably understand it was cool. This Blade was cool around your place, but around my place, no. Blade was not cool around my place. Blade was like it was just it was getting out of style at the time, but it was still in style. Man, my friends over buying Blades, and I had one good Blade. That one good Blade turned into many other different forms. Like, I bought another Blade, and I fused that together with the other Blade. But that turned out to be a disaster. But you get my main point, right? Like, okay, so when you have good cartoons, you start to get the marketing, everything else out there, and then when you have all the source material in front of you, those three channels, well, 8 channels actually, seven, 8, 7. channels actually have all the cartoons on there, and it make you want to play it, right? Like, how you ever see, like, when you see Blade Blade, you want to play Blade Blade, right? Because you see how the Blade Blades be reacting on the cartoon. And you be like, well, I want my Blade Blade to do that. So, man, like, how y'all ever imagine doing the Blade Blade and have magical powers, man? Like, the Phoenix. Yeah, I remember that was one of my favorite OP Blade Blades of the time. But for some reason, in real life, it wasn't like that. I was like, oh boy. but I already knew real life fantasy. Yeah, fantasy told two different things in real life. But yeah, I understand. But hey, I was a kid at the time, so my imagination was all over the place. So if I think Blade Blade was good, who doesn't watch the cartoons? It gonna make me want to play, right? That's like any other cartoon out there. It make you entertaining. It make you fun. It make you want to laugh. It make you want to experience your kidhood, right? But lately, that not even the case now. Like, it's rarely any good cartoons out there. Like, of course, you got Super Mario, then Spider Man Across the Spider Verse, and then Into the Spider Verse. But those on different planes, fields entirely. Like, Super Mario made 1.3 billion, still counting, and then Spider Man Into the Spider Verse is still counting too. But it's just like they's on a different playing field than cartoons. They like more animation level. Or they basically do animation, but cartoon level, animation level. To me, it's kind of two different things. Cause anime, totally different from cartoons. You can't put them in the same category. Cartoons don't got no blood and gore. Like, you can see through all the original cartoons that it was no blood and gore. It was just grotesque figures and all this stuff. If you had watched Chowder 1, when they zoom in, SpongeBob when they zoom in on them, Flapjack, oh boy, them characters on there was definitely ugly when they zoom in on them. That's Captain Knuckles. That boy was horrified when they zoom in on him. But, and then it was another one too, but I forgot the other one. But you get my point though. Like, so when you do see like the whole premise of what cartoon really was back in the day, you start to see that you really need to, something needs to change, right? Like, something needs to change the flow. No, cause the flow is going downstream, it ain't going up no more. For some reason, now stream writers on strike for some reason, and I was just like, well, the reason y'all not getting paid because y'all doing horrifying stuff. You're doing bad stuff. Now, I'm not saying they bad movies. I'm just saying bad writing. That's just it. Now, we can all agree we like strong women and heroines in any social media. It's just they gotta be written good. Okay, so if they're not written good, we won't like them. And if they're not likable, we don't get with the story. And if the story is bogus, we finna think the story is bad and they don't care. Right? Yes. So, if they change something about the narrative of trying to make this character strong, well, clearly just try to make it entertaining and make sure the character is relatable and make sure the character is a character, okay? A character that someone can get along with. A character that they can understand that they going through this and they getting out of this, okay? It's called film theory, okay? First you got the beginning, then the middle, the conflict and everything, then the end when they resolve the conflict. So that's basically the main thing. Now, it's just not about beginning, they're strong, middle, well, they're getting more stronger. The end, they're getting more stronger. It's kind of just boring, right? This me explaining. They strong already in the beginning. Then they stronger in the middle. Then they even stronger at the end. So you see, it's kind of a boring story, right? You see a strong character throughout the whole movie. It's just boring. You don't see no weakness, no trying to push through resolve or anything like that. Trying to push through struggle. Especially like nowadays, like, man, like I want to see a character at least struggling to the point they trying to become better versions of themselves inside the movie. And then it's all about the development of the character. The development of the character in the beginning, the character got to be weak. Now, most of the time, the character don't got to be weak. They can be strong, but it's the way that you got to write them. And it's kind of hard to write a strong character and make them find another strong character to the point where they realize both of the strong characters is basically fighting for no reason or probably a stupid reason. Most of the time, be fighting for no reason. Most of the time, be easy to resolve that they can easily resolve without fighting. But well, they fight for some reason just to prolong the story. But yeah, but anyway, like that's kind of like if you have like a character that got reincarnation, that's anime, but you got a person reincarnation, they get strong powers, but they need to realize how their powers work, how they atmosphere, all that stuff, how the new place work. Now, if the character just know how the new place work without even exploring the plot comes pointless to the point he already know what's going to happen. And if he already know what's going to happen, then we going to assume he know what to do. And if we assume he know what to do, we go assume that he is OP and he is overpowered to the point of he knowing everybody moves it and everybody moves instead of actually developing a move set and actually developing better combat skills. And he knowing that already off the bat, it's basically pointless to actually do that because, well, at that point, it gonna be fun to look at it, but afterwards you're gonna realize, well, the villains is weak. The villain's weak. The villain's stupid. How they couldn't counter this, basically. So it's kind of like to the point of frustration of writing a strong character versus a weak character, and a weak character versus a weak character. Now, you can look at it in all aspects. Look at all aspects with three main components: strong versus strong, weak versus strong, weak versus weak. Now, if you look at it in that way, now if we writing, say for instance, if we writing a cartoon, basically the cartoon need to be imagination. I'll explain that in my last video. Imagination, and then realism, and then also imagination plus realism. So that way you have imagination first, then the realism, then imagination, and then realism inside the movie. So that way you combine those two, but not really to the point of doing entirely literalism, but to the point of imagination carrying out through some most part of the movie. Now, if you have that, you're basically gonna be good, and you're basically gonna have a story. But that's just one aspect of it. The next point is you gotta have a strong plot point. So a plot point is basically you're trying to understand the plot, right? You're trying to make sure that the whole development of the character is developing. So if the character don't develop throughout the story, basically there's no plot. Basically he's doing that for no reason. And what his motivation, what his motives behind what he's trying to do. Why is he trying to accomplish something that he don't got no resolve to or no strong motives to do at the end of the day? So what's the point of us trying to watch this character going through what they going through, and we trying to make sure that they understand the whole, well, we trying to understand why they are doing this in the first place. An example is Avatar Last Airbender, the movie, the live action movie, horrifying movie. Oh man, M. Night Shyamalan, yeah, he got good movies with horror, But action, he don't need to go back to that. So his action scene was just sloppy at best. And then also his zoom in camera, and then his motivation throughout the whole movie was just nothing. It was just nothing really. Then Aang doing selfish acts. That's not Aang. Hey, he don't do selfish acts. He do selfless. Hey, the only reason why he left Qatar and Sokka was basically because he was trying to get medicine for him. He was trying to find medicine for him. That was the reason why he left. But in the movie, he basically left because he was scared. Like what? Because y'all explained that in the cartoon cartoon anime. I'm just gonna say but the cartoon, no, scratch that anime. Basically, in the anime of Avatar, it basically explained that Aang don't want to do that no more. He don't want to disappoint anybody else by going and leaving again because he failed them already, and he don't want to fail them again. So he basically didn't want to leave. He basically don't want to go back into that dormant state. You can see the depression on his face when you see the Avatar, the cartoon of the anime, the show, and you see that he was down about it when he said it to Katara. But in the movie, he was smiling about it. So I was like, well, you got a happy-go-lucky kid in the movie, the live-action movie, and clearly he's not disappointed of his actions. He left for 1,000 years, or 1,000 years. Oh boy, it been a while. But I just watched the show, my goodness. But yeah, but it was kind of like, well, you got a happy kid here. The kid I really don't understand the premise of what the original blueprint point out. It point out that Aang didn't want to go back into that dormant state because he want to fail again, and he was gonna let them down. He did selfless acts because he didn't want nobody to get hurt. That just his monk instincts, or just his kind nature. And we can all relate to that. Like, you don't want nobody to get hurt in the real world. We don't want nobody to get torment to the point of they dying or being hurt. So we can all understand why Aang did what he did in the animated show. In the live action, we didn't understand his actions at all. And after he came along, they decided to throw fire at the villagers. And I was just like, well, that was dumb. Like, Aang just get himself up. Why would you go back on your word? But my bad, audio cut off. But I guess I'm gonna end it right there though. I'm gonna come out with a part 3 to explaining more of like the cartoons in general, why the cartoon nowadays not working, and why the cartoon back in the day was working. Well, I'm pretty sure most of y'all already know how the cartoons back in the older generation already worked, but I'm the cartoon guy, so I just love talking about cartoons and watching them. And also, I also like anime too, so I'll go talk about anime. And I also love to play games too, but that probably will be for a later video. But just leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to get all videos, anything else from me. And also, appreciate y'all listening. And also, check out my other videos. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.